If you're not a career criminal, why would you carry a knife? Because presumably it's not just career criminals who commit knife crime. Okay, obviously Sheldon can't hear me. Sheldon, let's try again. Can you hear me? It's Adnan Nawaz in the studio.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, brilliant. So I was just asking you, as far as gang culture is concerned, members of gangs aren't really career criminals, are they? Gangs are about wanting to feel included. So why would someone who's not a career criminal carry a knife?
Because it's not just about being in a gang. It's about feeling a sense of protection. Now, if you look at some of the young people involved in this lifestyle, and I'm not saying all of them, most of them are coming from a parent, fatherless background. So most of these kids are growing up in homes where they have no relationship with their fathers or don't know who their dads are. So many of them feel that the areas they live in, where the gangs are, they have to protect themselves. So that's why a lot of young people who are not in gangs carry weapons, because it's out of protection. We don't have a youth service anymore. We used to have a youth service that had a detached team that went out on different estates to engage with gang members. We don't have that anymore because the youth service have been cut. We don't have a police where they're on the beat engaging with the community anymore, because that service is being cut. The community organisations that do engage with gang members and have a very good relationship with them cannot afford to do so, because the money that's available is very, very small and cannot pay anyone enough money to do that kind of work. So these young kids feel they have to protect themselves.
What a strange situation that you say there isn't enough money available. People listening to us around the world will say, hold on, that guy Sheldon's talking from the United Kingdom. It's one of the richest countries in the world. Would it be different if there was a different sort of government in charge? Is it a political thing that means there isn't the money available?
I don't think it makes a difference. I went to the Labour Party almost 15, 16 years ago with not the identical proposal that I went to the Conservative with, and they were just not interested, because what happens is when gangs are in a particular community, which is poor whites and black communities, government's not really interested because they're in isolated communities. The reason why government are now focused on it is because children are killing children, and more middle class kids are getting caught up in this lifestyle because they buy the drugs. So a lot of the drugs is bought by middle class whites. So we have a big drugs problem. Now, when they talk about the richest country in the world, you've got to understand you have to have the political will to want to change society, because this is a society problem, not an enforcement problem. And the problem we have in Britain is that we have broken families. And many of these gangs have found a gap in the market. They've found a gap in broken families, a gap in society. Because if you look at a child who goes to school, studies 8 GCSEs, comes out, and there's no offer of a job because there's hardly any jobs for young people. And the jobs that are available through the apprenticeship schemes only pay £4 an hour. What child who's going to study 8 GCSE is going to want to work for £4 an hour when a gang member can offer him £200 a day, tax-free, no insurance, to sell drugs for them? You have to think about that.
That is really very interesting. And just to put it into context, GCSEs are the exams that 16-year-olds take in the United Kingdom. £4 an hour, probably what, about $6.50 an hour. And you've already answered my question that I was going to ask you about whether it's a lack of policing, as the former superintendent said in that report we had, or whether it's a societal problem. You've answered that one. You said it's a societal problem. What are the figures like? Because there has been an uptick in violent crime, and knife crime is included in that. What are the figures that show in the last few years it's becoming an increasing problem for one of the most famous cities in the world, London?
Well, we've seen a massive problem. Part of it is that government only reacts when something goes wrong. They don't want to put money into prevention. And one of the models we came to with Labour and to Conservative was that our suggestion was to, in order to keep knife crime down, in order to reduce knife crime, you've got to put in prevention strategies. And so prevention strategies means going into primary schools. That means young children as young as 7, 8, 9, and 10 will be educated and around what it means to be involved in gang violence. Now, this can only be delivered by specialist organizations, one of them being ourselves. There's only an handful in the whole country. When I say specialist organizations, I'm talking about organizations that purposely employ former gang members who have lost friends, who have been in violent confrontations themselves, who can go into schools with a credible message. The problem with the government, they don't want to pay for that service. So what they do is use police officers to go into schools or use school teachers. No child living in these particular communities are going to listen to teachers.